Hi, welcome to Chris Cook for YouTube. Today I'm going to be doing ribs. Now, I know that a lot of people think that the only way you could cook ribs is to bake ribs or to grill ribs. But that's not necessarily true, because today we're going to be frying ribs. Now, this technique is really simple. It's going to take you less time to fry your ribs than it would take you to grill your ribs. The only thing that you have to make sure is whatever seasonings you use, and you don't have to use the seasonings that I'm using, but whatever seasonings that you use, the longer it stays on, the more it absorbs into the meat and the tastier your meat will be. Now, that does not necessarily mean that you have to keep it on your seasonings before you can cook them for 24 hours. That's not necessary. If you want to do that, that's fine. But 2 hours is what you have to do. Now, let me show you the secret to very tender ribs. Okay, now today, let me get through the seasonings we're going to use first. That's going to be paprika, garlic, granulated garlic, onion powder. This I transfer into a different jar, but this is just chili powder and some salt. You can add some pepper. You can add some cayenne pepper or black pepper to this. You can add other seasonings to this. You can season your ribs with anything that you want to. This is the way I'm going to be seasoning mine today. Now, I'm going to move that to the side because I want you to see these ribs. Now, I'm going to be frying baby backs. And it's a simple way to do this to get this tender. And that's to make certain that you see that membrane that's on the back. The membrane is what keep your ribs from being tender, because what this does is it holds your rib in place. And what you want to do, you want to pull this membrane off. You want to separate it. See, it's real simple to get off. See? And once you take this membrane off, then your meat, when you get ready to cook your meat is going to be real tender, because you don't have anything that's going to be holding this in place. Now, my hands are a little bit slippery because I got on these gloves, and plus I have a little bit of powder in there, so it makes it kind of slippery. Now, there is one rib that I've done. I'm going to do the other. Now, I don't necessarily, normally when I'm doing ribs, I don't take this membrane off. And the reason why I don't is because it's like an old school saying, I love to have a little fight in my meat. So I don't take it off. I'd rather do the chewing. But a lot of people want their ribs to be fall off the bone tender. So all you have to do is, you don't have to use meat tenderizer or anything. You just have to remember to take that membrane off. Because once you take that membrane off, you just release the tenderness in your ribs. Now, I'm going to do something else. I'm going to cut these bone by bone. So I'll show you the first one. I'll do this one since it's closer to me. Okay. So I'm going to move that over. Now, I'm going to cut up each one of my ribs bone by bone. How do I do that? See where that rib is? Where the bone is? I'm just going to go in between the bone and cut. Okay? So all you have to do is look where your bone is, and then you go in between and you cut. And that's your one rib section. Now, we're going to season these up. I'm going to let mine season for about 2 hours, and then I'm going to bring you back, and I'm going to show you what the next step is, which is frying. Now, to fry these ribs, we're going to use the balance of our seasoning that's going to be added to our flour, and it's going to be added to some cornstarch, because the cornstarch is going to give you the crispness that you need. Sorry about that. That was a tongue twister. It's going to give you the crispness that you need in order to fry these ribs up and have them real tasty. I'm not going to put barbecue sauce on these ribs. If you choose to do that, you could go ahead. I'm just going to fry these up, and I'm going to serve them with my dinner. So I'm gonna go away, get this done. Then when I come back, I'll put the seasonings on. Okay, I'm back, and all of my ribs have been cut into individual pieces. And I had 2 slabs, but 2 slabs is enough for me to feed my family with if you take them apart from the slab. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and put in my seasonings. Remember, the longer your seasonings stay on your meat, the more tender and more flavorful it's going to become. Now, as far as the tenderness, as I've shown you, that's going to be removing the membrane. But as far as the flavor is concerned, allow this to stay on your meat. 24 hours is okay if that's what you want to do, but really you can get that done, or get the seasonings done and get the flavor up in your ribs in 2 hours. So when I finish seasoning this up, I'm going to go ahead and put some plastic wrap over it and put it in my refrigerator. Now when I come back, I'm going to have the flour, any leftover seasonings, and some cornstarch, and that's what I'm going to use to batter up my meat, and I'm going to fry it at that time. So I'll see you in 2 hours. Be right back. Okay, now I'm back, and here are my ribs. I've let them set for 2 hours, and I put some over in my bag, and now I'm getting ready to fry them up. So you want to make certain that you have your leftover seasonings from when I showed you what it was that I was going to season up my ribs with. You have your leftover seasonings mixed in with your flour and your cornstarch. And then the only thing you want to do is basically fry it up like you fry up chicken. So you want to go ahead and put it down over in your grease. Now you do want to shake off some of that flour, because see, it's a lot of flour when you bring it up. Just pat them together and shake it off. And that's it. So I'm going to allow this to cook for a while, and when I get ready to flip that over, I'm going to bring it back and show you exactly what it looks like. So I'll bring you back when I get ready to flip it. Be right back. Okay, now I'm back, and these have been cooking about 10-12 minutes, and I didn't need to flip them over because I have enough grease in where the grease is covering all of the rib, so everything should come up uniform in color, and it's no need for me to turn it. So I'm going to go ahead and start to take these ribs out so I can put in some more. Now, you don't have to really worry about anything, about whether or not they're done, especially how good they're going to taste, because I know they're going to be good, or any of that. Now, in some families, I was just thinking about it, some families can make it with just one slab because you're cutting it up bone by bone. I can't do that because my family is way too large. But if you can make it with just using one, then just use one rib. Now, you could add some hot sauce to this. You can add some barbecue sauce. You can add whatever it is that you feel like you want to add to it. That would be fine. But for me today, I'm just going to eat it just like it is. But for some reason, that one wants to stay in the skillet a little bit longer. Alrighty. So there you have it. Now you don't have to worry about the seasonings because we know we got good flavor on the seasoning because I allowed it to stay in a little bit over 2 hours. And we don't have to worry about the tenderness of it because I know that it's going to be good and tender. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to finish frying these off, and when I get through, then I'm going to bring you back and I'm going to show you what everything looks like. Okay, now I'm finished with my dinner for tonight, fried spare ribs, and I'm telling you, those are baby back. But you talking about something that is delicious. They are very, very good. I know that a lot of people didn't know what they could do with really spare ribs. All they thought they could do with it is just bake it or barbecue it, grill it. No, you can do a whole lot more than that. Hey, but be careful who you leave in your kitchen. because they just might eat it. Okay? Bad, Chris. Bad, Chris. And as always, thank you for watching Chris Cook For You Too. Bye.